Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake, for all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs. Go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Reel Down on Paddle and Fin. Show goes live on Wednesday, so I hope whatever you're doing, you're having a good day. Tonight, we'll get right to it. We have the first and third place winners from the B.A.S.S Nation Kayak Series event on Lake Fork, first one of the year. We have Garrett Morgan, who got first place, and James Busch in third. We also invite on Chris Longshore in second, but he had some other things going on. So let me bring him on here. How y'all doing, guys?
Doing great.
Pretty good. How about you?
Appreciate you having us on.
Good. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for being on, and congratulations on the event. His background's crazy. If you're watching it, it's blowing my mind here. I don't know who set this on here at Paddle and Fin, but yeah, y'all picked some crazy stuff, man. We haven't had either one. James, you've been on the OG show before, but we'll do a little intro. I know everybody knows who y'all are, but for people that don't, we'll start with you, James. Tell everybody who you are, man.
I'm James Busch. I'm one of the owners of One Objective Bass Fishing, and we just make trolling motor mounts and accessories. We're sitting here at Toledo Bend right now, hoping to do a little bit more practicing because it ain't lining up like Fort did so far.
A lot more grass, huh?
It's just tougher to find them right now. First spot we went to just ain't doing nothing.
I got you. Well, you got a few days, man. At least you haven't set the hook on it yet, so that's good. You haven't worn it out.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. All right, Garrett. How about you, man?
Yeah, man. My name's Garrett Morgan. I live in Conway, Arkansas, and I've been at this thing for about 5 years now. Got started with a local trail event. I just had a little Academy brand kayak $200 deal with 2 Shakespeare rods and 2 cheap Abu Garcia bait casters from Walmart, and literally like a Walmart sack full of baits, and signed up for this little local deal on my home lake. Didn't even know they had kayak tournaments. Just saw it pop up on Facebook one day. And, I've been doing the co-angler thing a little bit, and I got real frustrated with that, just being in the back of the boat. This gave me an opportunity to kind of make my own decisions, go to my own places, and won the first one I ever signed up for, and I got hooked, man. And, I've kind of been doing it ever since, and, started with baby steps, and, have grown, into a pedal kayak, and had the autopilot last year. And, it's really kind of taken off for me at this point.
And if you're just listening to this, Garrett has an absolute room full of trophies and big checks in the background. If you're just listening, it's damn impressive. It's like Drew Gregory. His whole wall's just big checks.
Yeah, maybe one day mine can look a little bit more like that. As you see, the one behind me, or most of them behind me, have the state of Arkansas on there, and that was really what I wanted to shift away from this year. I'd like to do better in national events, and so I've actually left the local events behind. I don't plan to fish but one, and that's more of a memorial event for one of our buddies that passed away last year. But I'm primarily doing national events, man, and my goal coming into the year was to win a national event. I've been close before. I've had some thirds, some fours, done well in the national championship twice. So I guess I can finally check that box.
Yeah, congrats. Just start off with a bang there. So let's I know, Garrett, you're on the Old Town team, and James, I mean, y'all rig kayaks and do mounts and everything else. So let's start with kayaks. Garrett, what are you in right now?
I'm in a Old Town top water, so 10.5 foot. And
the 10.5. Okay.
Yeah. So there's the reason why I have that thing is I can pick that up and I can carry it pretty much anywhere. You can pick it up by the seat with there's straps that hold the seat in, and you can grab both bars of that seat and just pick it up and just go with it wherever you need to go. I primarily am a shallow water fisherman, so I like to get into the back of creeks or places where other folks can't easily get to. That's kind of my niche, kind of what I found. I think if someone has to use a ramp and you can find a place that's a long ways away from a ramp, you may get that spot to yourself for a little while first thing in the morning. So I keep that, but I also have an autopilot 120. I didn't use that this particular weekend, but I took the top water, and I actually ended up in a Predator on day 2. There's a story behind that.
I thought I saw a picture of a Predator there.
Yeah, I ended up breaking my rudder cable to my top water, being too
really?
rough,
Yeah.
and probably a little too jacked up that morning of day 2. I was trying to loosen it. It got me frozen, and I just got too impatient with it. Ended up breaking. So I reached out to my Old Town teammates that were down there, and one of them had brought his extra kayak, which is a Predator, and he was able to get over there to me, and we got it in the water and got me out of there before it was go time. So I was real thankful to Roy Grubbs for that. Interesting thing, man, he's actually from here in Conway where I live, and we had a mutual friend and met each other a couple of years ago, but man, that probably doesn't happen without him. I definitely would have tried to go fish regardless. I'd have used the paddle to steer and still
just swimming out there.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'd have done whatever it took. Because trust me, before I had a pedal drive, I was out there paddling and still doing well. So I mean, I'd have made it work somehow.
Yeah, and that, man, I have went, because last year I had a Sportsman 120. This year, 2020 I had a Sportsman 120. This year and last year I've had a Predator. I have a paddle kayak too, Diablo. I'm trying to figure out, I still don't know what I want to be in this year. Do I just get a third kayak and the autopilot? Do I get, because with my shop, I have to have a current year model. So I have to upgrade. I have to get something new. So
it's either right now, that autopilot will run you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fat enough already, man. I need that pedaling.
Hey, dude, I packed on 24 pounds with that sucker.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to lose it. I started, really exercising again real hard in September, which really it was more to do with my diet. And then suddenly I cut down, the amount of calories I was burning because I'm pushing a button instead of pedaling everywhere. But hopefully I think I'm in a better place with my diet and stuff for when I get back in the autopilot here in a couple of weeks. But that was part of the reason why I took the top water down there is I like the exercise part of it.
Yeah, I do too. I really enjoy the physical part. The motor to me is like a bonus, maybe to help me get to a further away spot, cover a little bit more water. But I don't want to be motoring all the time. I tell you, I work from home and I need the exercise in my life. It's tough, man.
I'll tell you the thing that I missed the most about the autopilot this weekend. And I really, when you're in practice, you don't think about it because you're not really trying to take photos to submit.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to get photos to submit, you usually take a few. I do. I try to make sure I get the most length out of the fish I can. I may try to, move the fish a little bit at a different angle if I need to. And I may take, several photos. When you have that autopilot, you just hit spot lock and you don't drift off of your spots. You end up, being able to stay right there the whole time. Sorry, little dog just came in here.
All right. There we go. Well, there you go. I was wondering why you went top water instead of autopilot, though. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just the exercise piece, man. I worked real hard to get that weight back down and kind of get back in a good place.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, James, how about you, man? You rig up every kayak, every motor. You could have anything, and now this year, you and your boy, y'all are both in Hobies, right?
Yeah, we got the Pro Angler 14 360 this year, and we got the XI3 on the front of that, and then we also have the NK on the back. If we need it, we just run one or the other. Different situations, rivers and stuff like that. So kind of set up to run anything. And with the Hobie stuff, we can just use the same. So we can just use the pedal drive, well, the Hobie drive, the Mirage drive, and just do whatever. I mean, here lately we've just been using the Mirage drive, the 360 drive. I mean, it's been great. I love it so far. Just a little bit better on my knees and stuff like that than a regular pedal drive than I was used to in the native. But I do miss the instant reverse and those over the 360 stuff. That's a big deal when you're set to hook on a fish or something like that, and you can just instant reverse. I do miss that part. But other than that, I mean, the spot lock and everything like that, to be able to put on and off or whatever. I actually used XI3 on the front the first day, and then I just used the regular drive the second day because I was inside of my boat ramp the whole time when I was fishing. So I thought I was going to have to, because I didn't have any practice. So I just figured I would just, I didn't know if I needed to run the first day, but after that, I just end up using the pedal drive.
So what, I saw Christine Fisher, she uploaded a new video today where it's talking about the foot control steering using a Newport / Torpedo, either using the foot controlled steering or the Tim Percy handle. Which one are you using?
We're designing something else up that's a little different than that we're working on.
Of course you are.
But I've installed the foot control steering and stuff like that. It actually works really well. I haven't installed the Tim Percy stuff personally yet. I've actually seen it installed on a couple of things, and it seems to work pretty well. Everybody seems to be using it. The pedal drives, the foot control stuff, it works. I mean, the only thing with that is you don't have to touch it. Like you can just use your foot. So you can, if you're moving, working the bank or something like that, your hands are free. So both of them have their positives and negatives. It all depends on how you like to fish, really.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let's get into a tournament. First, I'll go over the numbers. We had on day one, Garrett mega bag, 102.5 inches. Rolando Nadine, I always say that wrong, 99.5. Chris Longshore with 97 and third. Chris Hartman, your KFL Arkansas Hogs teammate there, right? Yep. 96 and a quarter. And James, you had seventh place with 93 and a quarter. Day two, Brian Howell, big bag of tournament, 106. Is that right? 106?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
God, dog.
Yeah, I heard he's
That's crazy. Chris Longshore in second. And then with 100 even. Garrett, you were in third with 99 and a quarter, and James in 10th with 89 and 3/4. James really I mean, if you hear those numbers and it's like, oh man, everybody had a great tournament. This place was awesome. But no, I mean, it was brutal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so overall total, Garrett, you won it with 102 and 3/4. Chris had it 197 and James with 183. So again, congrats to it almost makes like it's a great tournament, but then whenever you do it, you overcome such tough conditions. It's kind of like you get an asterisk, but you get an exclamation or a gold star because man, that's it. Half the field did terribly, more than half, not many limits. So yeah, I mean, amazing event. We'll start with practice. James, we'll start with you. Did you not get any practice at all?
I didn't. I had never put my kayak in the water until the day of the tournament. So we just picked it. Yeah, we went and looked around at a bunch of ramps. We done a lot of map study before we ever came down here, and we rode around the first day that we came down just to figure out what ramps looked good to us. And we just decided on that one, and we ended up having it to ourselves that whole day, the first day. But we had a few people come in there the second day, but once they figured out where we all were and everything like that, they just, everybody was very courteous and everything like that was in there.
So you just saw something at a certain area you thought would play with. What was something that you were looking for whenever you were doing map study this time of year? Were you looking for bluff walls or rocks, or what sort of structure?
We were just mainly looking for some creeks, and we just pointed out a small creek that we figured that since we didn't have practice, we could break it down pretty easily. And as me and my buddy Josh, we were sitting there and we just broke it down. We're just like, okay, well, you go one way and I go the other, and he ended up going the way that toward the mouth of the creek, and I actually was going back towards the back of the creek, and I got about halfway back and it was frozen completely over, so I couldn't even go back there. I was just trying to even see how thick it was. I took my jig and tossed it on top of the ice. It wouldn't even break. So I just started easing out towards the mouth of the creek and ended up coming up on a point, and ended up pretty much catching all my fish. I caught 3 of my fish off of one little Christmas tree that was in the water, like a crappy spot. I mean, I'd let it sit, they'd come back, they'd reload, reload, and they'd reload. And it was actually in shallower water the first day. And it was probably like, I think I caught all my fish in like 4 foot or 5 foot of water. Then, like I said, on the second day.
Hold up. Let's hold on. We can't give everything away so quick. But why do you think that on day one? Why do you think they were there? Was it a creek channel right up on that top, or what was it?
It was it seemed like it was a creek channel that kind of run around that point. Okay. And it was just it was a place where they could set up and the wind was blowing in on it just right. And I think that they just kept reloading.
Wow. Okay. Like a lot of bait in the area too, or just staging area?
It was some. We could see some on the Panoptics and stuff like that. And you could just see it kind of blowing in, and you could see them, you toss in front of them and you see the schools of bait just blow up and stuff like that. But I didn't really, like I said, I caught all mine on a jig the first day.
Okay. What kind of jig?
Just one I hand tied. It's just one I hand tied.
All right. Well, both of y'all, because I heard a little bit of KBN last night. I try not to listen too much so I can come into this kind of clear-minded and not asking the same questions. But Garrett, how was your practice, man?
Man, my practice was phenomenal. So
yes,
it took all I could muster not to share pictures. Before the event. I feel like that's bad luck. Okay. I feel like everybody that does that never wins the event. Right. So
I hope some people are listening to this, because there's so many people do that. I'm like, oh man, dude, I can see the trees behind you. I ain't gotta worry
about them anymore.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But, there was kind of this running joke about, the practice angler of the year. And I was like, man, I could probably make a good run for that with these photos I got. But anyways, I happened to go down there. I think it was the 25th, and a cold front smacked us that night. And, so the next morning on 26th, it was cold. I had like 6 layers of clothes on. I had my duck hunting waders on to even go out and fish. And the previous year, I didn't do too hot in the event, so I stayed an extra day and just looked at new water. I've been to Fork several times in my life, and I was just looking for a spot I'd never been to, and just to have something fresh. And I explored some stuff last year, so I went down there this year thinking, well, I'm just going to go fish that newer area I found. I caught some fish there last year on that extra day I stayed. And so, very similar to what James is saying, it took me a while before I got a bite in practice, but when I did, it's like a magic tree, man. It was one spot, and there was, I went by it a couple times and caught a fish, to the point I FaceTimed my brother, and he's at lunch, at work. And I said, dude, watch this. I'm about to catch a fish. He's like, no way. And I end up tossing in her third cast. I caught a fish. And it was like James was saying, I could leave and come back and I'd catch another one. Now, the thing about it was, there might be 5,000 trees in this little pocket I was in, and the fish are on that one tree. That's just kind of what it seemed like. And somebody had actually put like a brush pile kind of around this particular there was like 2 trees by each other, a couple feet apart. But there was a boat dock not far from there that had a ton of brush in it. So I'm pretty sure whoever that guy is the one that put the brush out there on this little, two trees that were close to each other. But once I figured that out, kind of like, the way those trees set up, I just went around that cove and found a couple more like that. And then there were some concrete ramps in there that looked good as well. But then I went to the main lake and found more trees that were at least 15 inches in diameter, that were less than 4 foot apart, but not more than, say, 6 foot apart. And I would just go by there. If I caught a fish, I did not make another cast because I already knew from the first spot, if you found one, you're going to find a bunch. And so I'd mark it, and then I'd just move on and find something else. And I did that. I actually stayed an extra day of practice. I wasn't going to stay one day, but it was so good. I arranged things here back home to be able to stay an extra day, and I found a lot more fish than what I realized I could find on the main lake. And that's really a focus that second day of practice. And that paid off big time because when we got the ice, I knew that backwater stuff was going to be colder and that main lake stuff would probably be a more steady temp, even with the ice that came in. And that did hold to be true. And I ended up starting out there on the main lake.
So let's talk about this jig you caught them on.
It's a custom jig. JP Custom Baits here out of Arkansas makes them. So I was kind of interested when I heard James say he hand tied it. I'm telling you, if you find something that not everybody has or can get something made the way you want it, I think there's a lot to that. Those brands that are out there, whatever the bait it is, if it's Strike King, how many people have bought that bait? How many times those fish at Fork have seen a bait come by their face that looked exactly like that? And you think about a white jackhammer, right? I mean, it still catches fish, but let's just say you get a custom, bait maker to make you one that is, in a green pumpkin orange or just something that's just a little different, give them a different look. Well, the same thing with my jig here. The story behind that is I went up to a river here in Arkansas in the Ozarks that I fished a lot and whacked some fish. And, this place is overpopulated. I brought a few home, filleted them out, and all the crawfish in there were just green and orange, green and orange, green and orange. And I took a picture of it. I sent it to my buddy. I said, hey, man, make me a jig that looks just like this. Put a Strike King Rage Bug on the back and a green pumpkin orange. And I've been catching fish with that thing ever since. But that's what I had tied on when I went down there. Other people came by me with the black and blue. They came by me with the black and red. They came by me, with your peanut butter jelly colors. And they were fishing in areas I was fishing. They were not getting bit. I think just having something different that those fish don't see a ton played a big role in my success down there.
Do you just fish green pumpkin orange whenever the water is cold?
No. I mean, I'll fish it in the spring for sure. Yeah.
I kind of got to where, because I'm same way, green pumpkin orange. I went fishing on Lake Mitchell on the Coosa River here one time. Me and my buddy I've told this story before, that me and my buddy were fishing and I was throwing like green pumpkin blue and he was throwing green pumpkin orange and he was catching them 3-1. Yeah. And then I swapped over to green pumpkin orange and I started catching them like he did. And ever since then, I've been, whenever the water is cooler, green pumpkin orange is my deal.
Yeah. Now, I throw it in the spring, and I haven't fished it in the summer quite a bit here, too, this last year. I got on a good run with it at a lake over here, and we wrecked them out there one day. So, yeah.
Well, see, Matt, and that's why I was asking. Maybe I need to keep throwing it all year.
I think maybe I was saying this last night. I think sometimes maybe it's just a placebo effect. I mean, maybe because I've just had so much success and I have so much confidence in it. When I throw it in there, I mean, it's just partly a mental thing. It's like I just feel like I'm going to catch fish in there. So, I'm probably a little bit more patient. I'm probably just more confident. I'm not getting frustrated. I'm like, I have caught fish on this thing before. It's going to work for me today.
Yeah. And James, what kind of trailer did you have on there? If you had a Rage Bug, what do you have?
A Berkeley Power Bait, the new meaty chunk.
Okay. So
they
something slow. Are you convinced about that power scent stuff?
I don't I don't know. I like a chunk in the spring more than just like a pocket crawl or something like that.
I spray the hell out of my stuff. I got Bang, and I'm not sponsored by them. I don't know if it works. I just know if I don't put it on there, it can't work. Or nobody's ever convinced me that it doesn't work. I guess maybe it doesn't work, maybe it does, but I don't know. I was still trying to figure that out. But I like coffee scent too. Strike King. I'm down with the X Zone, but Strike King, I like that coffee scent. That's good too. That's good. All right. So you sacked him up. You're killing it day one. Did you think what did you think, I guess, going in whenever you were going to fork and the fish are that big and you had such a great practice after day one and you caught 102, or you think what are you thinking then? Like, what do you think you have to catch day two to win it? Another 100 to put it away? Or
I knew I didn't have to catch 100. I felt like what I knew I had out there was 96 inches. I knew I was going to go out there and catch 96 inches. Now, I told myself, if you catch 98, you definitely won, in my opinion. I mean, it's just kind of just looked over everything. Also, the fellow that was in second place.
3 inches, that would have been, if you would have caught 96, that would have been like tied or right there with Chris, huh?
I'm not sure.
So if he had 197, you had 201. Day two, you had 92. So if you had 3 inches less, you would have been at 197 3/4. So at 96, you would have still won by 3/4 of an inch. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you were perfect.
So I guess I worked that out. But when I looked at the numbers, after that first day, I realized the guy that had been in second, if he doesn't have that 24.5 incher, it's really a lot bigger lead than what it looked like on Tourney X. And, I'm not saying you can't catch 2 24.5 inch fish out there on Lake Fork, but I mean, for most people, that's a once every 5 years kind of fish down in Texas. And you don't catch them that frequently. I was kind of hoping that the numbers would average out the way that they normally do for most folks. But going out the door, I felt like, hey, if I hit 98 and I get to that 200 mark, this thing's in the bag. Is kind of what I felt. But I also felt like I had 96 out there, regardless. Even when the rudder cable broke, and I didn't know if I would get a kayak over there in time, I felt like I could paddle out there and catch, 96. But you talk about having a good practice and going down there. Another part that played into this was, I felt like 50% of the field at least was done before the event ever started.
And I feel the same way, because I was watching some social media, because I had some other people on my fantasy team, and whenever I saw them bitching about the weather, I was like, you're coming off my fantasy team because you've already been beat by the weather.
Well, and the thing is, man, when it gets cold here in the South, it's kind of this wet cold, and it's got a little bit more chill and a little more bite to it. And dude, I get up at 4 a.m. here in Arkansas, and we go out there and break ice to duck hunt. So it really doesn't bother me to be out there to go fish. And there's a lot of times when my buddies are calling me wanting to go duck hunt, they're breaking ice. I'm like, dude, I'm going fishing today. And they're like, what? You're doing what? I'm going to fish. And I'll go out there and catch them. But the thing is, I've gone out there and sat in that kayak in other days when most normal people or, sane people wouldn't even think about getting in it, just because I like to fish so much. And so, going out in tough conditions, I don't really fret it. Doesn't really bother me. And I think having had success just doing it on my own, around here, I think builds confidence. And so I kind of thrive now. The worse the conditions, the better chance I feel like I have to win, because I know it bothers a lot of the other anglers. I know it's factoring into how they feel and how their kind of mojo is going into the event. And so I kind of felt like watching social media, and the worse the weather got, I was like, oh yeah, I'm loving it.
All right. Well, dude, you should come down here and fish this rattle trap tournament on Gunnersville this weekend. It's supposed to be 26 for the low. Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm gonna have some hot hands and some warmers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
down in my drawers and everything else. So, all right, James. So rolling day 2. You had a good day 1, 7th place, 93 inches. Oh, you had a good day. You had a great day,
Yeah.
93 inches. I mean, that's awesome. What
Yeah.
what were you just thinking? Oh, I hope that magic tree holds up, man.
Yeah, I was just hoping and praying that it would hold up for the second day, and it didn't at all. I didn't catch a single fish off that
Oh,
tree
really?
the second day.
Oh, okay.
They ended up moving out about probably 15 feet from that tree into it's like somebody made a bunch of crappy structure on this point, and they'd moved out, and I ended up catching every single one of them on a jerk bait out of the tops of those trees. They had just moved off of that one and moved just a little bit deeper. They weren't actually deeper, but they were in deeper water. They were still in the same range. They were about 6 foot, but they were just off the bank more. And I got a limit pretty quick that day. And like I said, pretty much every one of them came off that same spot, and I ended up catching a 6 fish later on in some trees on down deeper in the creek. It seemed like everybody started catching more fish towards the end of the day. I'm glad the tournament didn't last too much longer.
Well, good deal, man. What's your jerk bait of choice?
I was actually throwing the stunner.
Okay, stunner.
Berkeley
What's up,
stunner.
Hank Cherry?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Any certain color you have a love for?
I was throwing that day. I think I was throwing the bone color.
Yeah. Okay.
Just it was bone and orange on the bottom.
Yeah, orange. There's the key word, orange again. I guess. Watch out. All right, Garrett. Day 2. Do you just you seem like a pretty confident guy going in day 2? Did you have so many spots? It was like 9. I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but you knew 96 was going to happen.
Yeah, and I didn't talk about this yet, but day 1, that area I talked about in practice where I caught those 6 fish on that one magic spot, I'd never even went to on day 1. I didn't have to. But when I poked my head around kind of into that cove where it opened up, there's 6 people in there on day 1. And so I snuck in there to one of the other spots, caught a 20-inch fish, took a picture, threw it back, and I left. And I had 5 other areas in there I wanted to fish. But, I felt like I already had what I needed. And I kind of rolled out of there, I think, with like 96 or somewhere in there. And then, I end up at 99 before I get back to my truck, just working back to the truck and then go catch this bonus fish on the other side of the lake. I loaded up at 2:30 and just went to Main Lake Point, catch 22-incher. So going into day 2, I had saved all that other area, and I was hoping that the folks that had been in there, didn't find anything, didn't really catch fish, and maybe I'd go back and I'd have it all myself. And I ended up starting on the main lake where I caught my first 3 fish the first morning, and I only got 1 bite there, but it was a 21-incher. And, I ended up having some luck. It came off the jig. I had tried to scoop it with the net, and I had it on there like horizontal, so I'm picking up like a loaf of bread, and it flops. And when it does, the jig comes out, fish is falling, and I just reached down and scooped as fast as I could and scooped that fish up in the net. When that happened, after breaking my rudder cable, I was meant to happen. I'm gonna win this. It's meant to happen. But I ended up working my way pretty fast down the main lake this time. I didn't really stay on any of those spots where I had marked on the main lake like I had the day before. I just went there and I threw once or twice. If I got bit, great. If not, I kept moving. I think I caught maybe 1 fish. I think that's right. So I went in my other area with 2 fish, just needing 4 bites. First little spot I went to, I caught 2, just boom, boom. And then I rotated around to the next spot, didn't catch anything, rotated around to where I caught that 20-incher the day before and ended up catching another 20 inch fish in there, and finished off the limit or so. And I think at that point I had like an 18 incher or 17 incher, I think, that I wanted to cold. And so I went over to the Magic Tree area and I caught one that was pretty decent. And then I throw back in there and I hook up with something that I could not pull out of the roots and the brush that were down there. Ends up breaking my line. You know, again, don't get frustrated. Just put my head down, reach in my bag, pull out another jig, you know, rig it up the way I want to. And I worked around back to the second spot where I said I didn't catch fish and go over there and end up catching a 20 incher. And when I caught that fish, like I knew I won the tournament. That had put me at 200 inches. And I text my family and we have a group text and it was around 12 or somewhere in there. And I was like, hey, I just won this tournament. Like it's over. And
I'm gonna go eat some hot dogs at the dock. I'm gone.
I didn't do that. I stayed there and I tried to grind it out for a couple reasons. One, you just never know because it's fork. I mean, you know, somebody could have pulled a monster bag like Brian Howe did. Let's say Brian Howe would have had, you know, 95 inches. I mean, you know, it would have been close or whatnot if he'd had that on day one or something. But
and whenever you're that much on them, I'm sure it's just fun and you want to keep fishing, you know.
With that, and you know, I've never caught a 10-pound fish. You know, I caught a 24.5-inch fish down there a couple of years ago practicing for the Hobie, but it was summertime, and it only weighed 7 pounds, like 9 ounces or something. And so I was wanting to try to, you know, maybe get a share lunker or something like that. So I fished hard the rest of the day. I only got one other bite. When the wind died late in the afternoon, my bite died where I was. You know, I was glad that the tournament ended pretty soon after all that too.
Yeah, no day 3.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. But it's crazy. Y'all both had some orange. Yeah, both kind of similar situations, and in tough conditions. I mean, both of y'all tough guys to stick that out and be positive and catch them. I mean, that's really congratulations. I do this a lot. I talk to a lot of people and see an event that tough and see y'all do that well. So, and James, you too, to go in there and no practice, to find a spot, you know, be consistent, which a lot of people couldn't do for 2 days. You know, congrats to you too. I'm sure third place, you want to do better. You know, you want to win, but man, third place.
I was just happy to get a limit the second day. To be completely honest with you, it was luck that I landed on a spot like that with no practice. I mean, that was, you know, I'm fine with third place.
Yeah.
Garrett had a heck of a bag. I knew because when I put my stuff in on Turn the X at first, it had put me in at first place, and I was like, I'm not winning this thing because it is no way that because I think he needed like 1 or 2 more fish or something like that. And I was just like, there's no way. So I'm just trying to hold my own. So,
well,
yeah,
I got to say, man, I'm pretty jealous of you and Josh too for being able to do this, the double up with the B.A.S.S and the Hobie event back to back. That's you're kind of living the dream down there, just on the road, cashing checks. 2 tournaments in a row. That's got to be fun.
Yeah, when we worked our butts off before we ended up leaving, though, I had to make a ton of product, and I wouldn't be able to do this without my wife. She's shipping stuff out for us and everything like that. So without her, we would not be here right now. We'd be back shipping product out to everybody because we got to make sure that we're doing that, you know, keeping our customers happy.
That's right. Happy customers. All right. So, well, I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. Before I let you go, I want to give you a chance to shout out your sponsors, anybody that makes fishing easier for you. Garrett, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man. You know, H4 Outdoors is a shop here in Conway, kayak shop, tackle shop. They will mail you things. You can order things online. Been great to me. Have a ton of knowledge on, you know, fitting you with the best kayak. Of course, I, you know, work with Old Town through their team. They've been great to me. They carry Old Town. But the shop, you know, they'll fit you with a different kayak if you have a different need, or maybe something that fits kind of your budget better or whatever you need. Old Town, and then JP Custom Baits. I wouldn't want it
Yeah,
without
JP.
G, making me the G Money Jig, as we call it now. And then Wicked Weights. And then, for my hard baits, I use Shangler Custom Baits. Again, a custom bait maker, because I like to get stuff that not everybody's throwing. So, those folks have been good to me. Mel Isaac's been not only good to me as far as the baits go, but she's also been somebody that's been in my corner. This past year for me has been pretty rough. So things kind of turned around going into 2022. Landed a new job.
Congrats, man.
Best job I've ever had. I walked away from a job that was paying me a lot of money, but I didn't necessarily align with the person's values that I was working with. And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. Didn't have a plan. And luckily, I went down to the Shreveport, to the KBF National Championship and won some money, kind of stabilized things for a bit. But, it got rough as far as the mental side goes for a little bit there. You got a family and you're not working. And
a man not working is a tough thing to do.
Right.
It'll do things to you.
Especially whenever you left a job. You got your family and friends looking at you like, what'd you do? But you just got to trust in God's plan sometime. You may not know the destination, but you just got to keep climbing that mountain, because whenever you get to the top, man, it's pretty sweet. And, sometimes you got to walk away from things in your life so that God can allow those things that are supposed to be in your life to come into them. And so I really feel like there was a higher purpose with all this. I'm now working for a company that serves rural communities here. We put clinics and doctors in areas that normally, those folks have to drive miles to go see a doctor. So it's called R-Care, and it's really meaningful work. So I get to manage 12 clinics here in Central Arkansas. So that's a lot different than working for a plastic surgeon that's all about profit. So I feel like it's a better purpose and kind of put me in a better place. So had that kick off for 2022, and then turn around and went down and won this thing. And, I definitely found out, who's in my corner and who the people are that I can count on in my life. And couldn't be more blessed right now. So appreciate you having me on and giving me an opportunity to share those things.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I did the same thing. I was with 3 years ago. I was with the local natural gas. I have a degree in oil and gas operations, and I was working for the local gas utility, and they got bought out by a bigger company. It got so bad, it just wasn't worth the money anymore. And I said, that's it, I'm out. And now I have the best job I've ever had in my life. So same story. And so if we can be an inspiration to people, quit your jobs and get a better one. I don't do that. Don't take that advice. But I think people, window, God close the window, the whole thing. So
yeah, man. It's one of those things also, like in that in-between stage, I had people offer me jobs, but I wasn't going to settle. I was not going to settle. And that was the first time probably in my life that I made that decision. And so you hear motivational speakers will say that, and all these people that have accomplished all these things, but really, like, don't settle. Like, if you know you're worth more, go out and get it. Wait, be patient. It's part of the plan. You just got to wait it out.
There you go. Great advice. James, how about you, man? Tell us more about One Objective. Tell us about your products and how people can buy them.
They can buy all our products at oneobjectivebf.com. We're also getting into the tackle side of things, so you can buy tackle. We sell just about anything that Yak Attack makes. We also have that Rogue. We have all types of different products, any type of catch product that you need or anything like that. We also stock all that. So we're just kind of trying to spread out, and so you can buy your motor mount, and then you can buy all your tackle or whatever that you need. So we're working on that this year as our tackle side of things, and hopefully we can keep growing that. And like I said, you can check it out at oneobjectivebf.com. And I have a full video of what's going to be out of my tournament. Hopefully it'll probably drop next Thursday after we get back. But we'll have that whole video up. And because me and Josh, we were actually fishing like inside of each other. Like we probably could have cast it to each other. So,
how'd he
so
do?
he ended up 30th.
He got
He got
get
last check.
last
he
check?
got it. Yeah.
All right, yeah, a little gas money. That's all right. Well, probably paid back his fees, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a win to break even after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And man, if I can make a suggestion, make a mount so I can put a Newport/Torpedo on the back of a Sportsman 120. Like the PDL. I know y'all make a front mount. The front.
Yeah.
I would do something stupid. I would run it. I get pretty ignorant out there. I definitely run up on something and throw myself out of kayak. So if you can find a way to get a plate on the back so I can put a Torpedo on the back, please. I'll buy the first one.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's just hard to get all the kayaks to be able to do that stuff. That's the hardest part for us, is just trying to get kayaks.
I believe it.
That it costs a ton of money for us to buy every type of kayak out there to do this. So anybody who's got something like that lives local in Virginia, let me know.
Please do me a favor. So Old Town, send this man a Sportsman 120 so I can get a motor on the back of my kayak that I want. Because I love the Predator, but I'd love to have the Sportsman so I get up and punch. I like to stand up and punch, and being so big, I'm 260, man. It's tough. The Predator's stable, but it's not like Punch Matt stable. It's close.
Yeah.
But, if I were 150 pounds, sure, great, but I am not. So yeah, well, yeah, I need to do some more jumping jacks. It's my fault. All right, but yeah, man, appreciate y'all being on, and good luck. And James, Josh, y'all be safe, and good luck down there at the Hobie.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, James, I'll see you down there. I'm leaving Friday, so
right on. I'll see you.
Let's get back in the top 5 while we're down there, right?
Oh, you're fishing
That's what I'm hoping. I'll be happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down Friday after work.
Well, good luck to you too, man. I didn't know you were fishing it as well.
Yeah, it's a 6-hour drive, but I'm gonna make it down there.
Yeah, he's going to flip flop and do what James did, just show up and cash a check. So yeah, man.
I've been down there once. So
once. Okay.
So I cashed a check down there a few years back. Have no idea if there's fish there anymore, but we're gonna go find out.
Oh, the man's got history. Yep. Watch out.
Yep. And if y'all could subscribe to our YouTube channel, that'd be great.
Yeah. What? Just one objective?
Just one objective. Was it one objective BF?
Yeah, we'll be doing a giveaway.
And we're going to be doing a giveaway once we hit 10,000 subs, and it's going to be a pretty big giveaway. So,
well, I'm a subscriber. I've watched all your videos. It's a great channel, so everybody should check it out. Garrett, do you have any social media you want people to check out?
Probably the biggest page I'm trying to grow right now is my Instagram page, Garrett Morgan Outdoors. There's also a page out there on Facebook as well, but that's probably where I'm trying to grow the most right now. Yeah. I need to get a better camera before I jump into the YouTube thing. I have, one right now. It's just not great.
I hear you, man. I've just been doing like cell phone or little videos on this lately, just trying to start YouTube. Like everybody's just start it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a bunch of crappy videos once a week, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can start out just doing the shorts,
Yeah.
Now they have the shorts on. You can just do like your fish releases or something like that, just to get started.
Reels and shorts and all that. I've talked to some other social media gurus, and that's a deal right now. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, y'all be safe and good luck down there.
All right.
All right. Good luck to everyone.
For having us on.
See y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
All right. So we did have a few tournaments last weekend. Well, just 3, not too many. First, we had the Central Tennessee Kayak Anglers. They were on Center Hill, 22 anglers. Jesse England was first, has 3 fish limit, 55 inches. Second place was Brent James with 54 1/4. Roy Frog, Frogge, with 51 3/4. And then California Bass Nation Kayak Series, they were on Lake Shasta. This was a 2-day event, had 69 anglers. First place, Chase Murdoch with 80 3/4. It said 2-day. I might have just looked at the first day, but maybe it's just day one. Mick Albright with 77 1/4, and Kong Yang in third with 77 1/4. And also you had the Wild West Bass Trail going on at the same time, which was 78 anglers. Mick Albright, he signed up for that, 77 1/4. Kong Yang 77 1/4, and Kong Her with 77 1/4. So hopefully it was right, but if not, you can go to Attorney X and check it out. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching. Great event. Bass Nation Kayak Series, Lake Fort, tough. I mean, go back and look at the Attorney X. Those two guys, they really put up a show for a lot of people that were struggling to catch any fish at all. So that event, in my mind, gets an asterisk. So congrats to him. Good asterisk, not like, oh, there's an asterisk because it's different, but different good, because anytime it's freezing, you got frozen water in Texas. That's you're doing all right in my book. But yeah, thank y'all. See y'all again next week, and make sure to sign up for fantasy fishing. If we've because it's first year, we've been changing it every week. Susie, she's been working really hard at it, and the reason that the picks aren't being unlocked as quickly as what we want, because we have to wait for the results from the event. So yeah, we're just stuck waiting on information. Not like the Bass guys, they got us the information today, so it was a day we want to unlock on Monday, so you have more time to sign up your anglers for the week. But we had to wait a whole extra day because those guys were driving, but they're all updated now. Wednesday morning, whenever this comes out, you'll be able to update your picks on for the week. So I'm in third place right now. Yeah, like I said, you're going to have to beat me because I want one of them coolers. Those Pelican coolers are legit, and I need a new one for camping. So see y'all again soon. See y'all next week, and thanks again for watching. And if you're going out, make sure to bring a splash bag and, with some extra clothes in there if you do go over, and always wear your PFDs. See y'all next week.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You could support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.